So is there anybody here who was part of our last session? If you're in our last session, just let me know, please. Is there anybody here who was in our last session? Or the session before our last session, the January version? Our last session was in February. We had another session in March. Sorry, in January. So is there anybody who was in that January session or the February session? Okay. And Chidema, you can speak up.
Okay, I was in the January session. Yes, I didn't attend the February session.
Okay. So is there anything you picked from the session?
Yes, sir. I picked a lot from this session. Okay, January, we talked about it was relating to academics. We are talking about intelligence. Yes, I think it was relating to academics. So talking about if the first class graduates, it only requires being intelligent. So one thing I grabbed according to our speaker, from Bosola, I can't remember her name. So
Okay.
she talked about starting early as a student, that you don't wait till the deadline or probably when the timetable is released before you start preparing for your exam. And also that you should have friends that you can beckon on to, friends that can carry you along. Probably if you're not in class, friends that can guide you through. And also she talked about being in good terms with your lecturers and your classmates too, because life does not end in the four walls of a classroom. So I think these are the few things I got that I'm implementing.
That's a beautiful one, Chidima. The topic for this session is from idea to income, turning skills into a business. I believe as individuals, we have different ideas in our heads. We have different skills that we have, but we have this question of converting it to money. I am talented, but I cannot make money from it. So how can I make money from my talent? That is what we are going to be looking at this night. So I want you to sit tight and anticipate, get your material, get your writing materials, and prepare for this wonderful session. Our speaker is here. Our speaker is here. Good evening, Miss Emanuela. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, so our time is fast spent. We're waiting for the others to join the group so that we can kick off. So you can start
Okay,
immediately.
sir.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, everyone, for showing up and for being here this evening. And I also want to thank God for giving us the opportunity to be alive in the land of the living. Yes, for the breath in our nostrils, for all that He has been doing for us. He has been the one that has kept and preserved us. So I also thank God for today, a day like this. So, okay, our time is fast spent. I was having network glitches, that's why I couldn't join earlier. So, um, we'll be talking on turning skills into business. Turning skills into business. Please, I don't know if you people can hear me. I don't know if you people can hear me.
I
If
can
you
hear
can hear
you.
me, please. Okay, thank you, sir. Okay,
We can hear you, ma.
so all right, thank you. So, how to turn skills into business? This is a topic that I like talking about so much because I don't just talk about it from from what I think or from head knowledge, but from experience as well. So, how to turn skills into businesses? I would say the first thing to do is to identify your core skill because I know that for many of us, we don't just have only one skill. Some people have up to 3 skills, some 4, some 5, some have a lot of skills. So the first thing to do is to identify your core skill. A person may have more than one skill. So you identify your core skill, identify that particular skill that goes with your name without stress. That particular skill that feels more like a part of your life. You will do better with it. And it doesn't mean that you won't do better with other skills. But I believe, and from experience, I can tell you that that particular skill, your core skill, you will do better with your core skill. For example, I'm a music minister, I'm a teens coach, I'm also a business person, I'm a businesswoman, I'm a seamstress. I can tell you that whenever my name is mentioned in a place, in a room, the first thing that comes into their mind, the first thing that comes into the minds of people that are in that room is my brand, is my business. It's not as if I'm treating the other parts of my life less as lesser parts of my life. But you see that this thing is what people think about easily when they hear my name. So you do better with that particular skill that blends so well with your life. That particular skill that feels more like a part of your life, you do better at it. So let's go ahead. Before you turn a skill into a business, you must first of all check if that skill is solving a problem. I've seen a lot of people online looking for lucrative businesses. I've seen posts like that on Facebook and on other social media platforms where people ask, what lucrative business can someone start with 20K? What lucrative business can someone start with 50K? And stuffs like that. But I want to I want to tell you, don't be among the people that are asking for lucrative businesses. Look out for problems that you can solve with your skill. Quit asking or seeking for lucrative businesses to start. There are a lot of problems. Just find one that you can solve with your skill and start doing it. Money does not go to people who desire or chase it. Though. Money goes to people who solve problems. Money goes to people that solve problems. So if you have a skill, you have a skill now. Look for a problem that you can solve with that skill. There's something my mom would my mom usually says. She will say that money is designed to solve problems. She used to say it in Igbo that ego biarowa Igbo mpa. So money came to solve problems. The reason why we have money is that we can solve our problems with money. We can buy things, we can exchange money for what we need. So money is designed to solve problems. So when you have a problem of hunger, what do? You go to the market, you get foodstuffs with your money. When you have a problem, you need a dress for an occasion, you need to make your hair for an event. What do? You take your money to the market or you pay your vendor. So you see, money is there to solve problems. So money goes to the direction of the person with a solution to a problem. If you're not solving a problem, money will not come to you. Money does not go to people that call it forth. For those of us that are born again, that money does not go to people that call it forth. It doesn't go to people that desire it. Money goes to people that have a problem that they are solving. So when your name is mentioned, what comes into the mind of people? Let it be that when people think of solving a particular problem, your name comes into their minds. Let it be that when somebody, okay, I need to make a dress now, I need to make my hair, I need to get so and so. Let it be that they think about you. Let it be that when they think about a solution to a problem, your name comes to mind. Okay. So when you have a skill, know that having that skill is not enough. Having talent is not enough. Having that skill is not enough. A lot of people are skilled in the same area, just like you. A lot. Yes, I'm a seamstress. I make clothes. A lot of people are making clothes. A lot of people are making hair if you're a hairdresser. A lot of people are into tech. A lot of people are into that particular skill you are in. But having that skill is not enough. A skill becomes a business when you brand and package it into something that can be paid for. Yes, you have the skill, but what are you doing with it? You need to brand it. You need to package it into something that somebody can look at and pay for. A lot of people, I can make hair, I can do many other things with my hands, but nobody has ever asked me, Ella, I want to make my hair, Ella, because I've not branded it, I've not put it, I've not presented it, I've not packaged it into something that can be paid for. I've not packaged it into something that can be paid for. So a skill becomes a business when you brand and package it into something that somebody can pay for. So with this now, I've established that the first step is to identify your core skill. Then you look out for how it can be a solution to a problem. Then you brand it and package it into something that can be paid for. I don't know if we are still together. If you can still hear me.
We are together. I can hear you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, so I said you identify your core skill, you look out for how it can be a solution to a problem, and then you brand it and package it into something that can be paid for. Now you have a brand. Now you have a brand. If when you identify your core skill and you've looked out for a problem that skill can solve for people, and you've packaged it into something that can be paid for, you now have a brand. The next thing is that the thing that many people don't tell you is that you have to prepare your mind that running a business will not always be rosy. But the thing is that in the end, you will be glad you did. You'll be glad you started that business. You'll be glad you went into it. You'll be glad you decided to take the bold step to brand yourself. Prepare your mind. Running a business. If you want to turn your skill into a business, running it will not always I'm not here to excite you with motivational stories, with sweet motivational quotes and all of that. But what motivation gives birth to is what matters more to me than any other thing. What I may excite you, I may motivate you, but if after that motivation you go back to continue life the way you've been doing it, I've not made any impact. So motivation is important, but what's more important is the discipline to allow your motivation give birth to substance. If you're motivated, you also have to back it up with the discipline to allow that motivation give birth to substance. So you're not just motivated, you are determined. You find a discipline to bet something out of that motivation. So you prepare your mind that I'm starting to turn my skill into a business. It is not going to always be rosy. It is not going to always be smooth. So that being said, I want to say you are permitted to start small. You are permitted to start small. A lot of us wait for when everything is in place. We want to wait for when we have all the resources we need. We have everything, all the both human and material and financial resources that we need to start up something before we start up. No, you can start from that particular point where you are. You can start with what you have. When I started making clothes, when I was in 200 level in a suit. That time I didn't have a machine. I didn't have a machine. I was sewing clothes, but I didn't have a machine. I was using my cousin's machine. I was borrowing his machine to sew clothes for people. I didn't have I didn't have any mannequin. I used to snap the my works on bare floor. And if you know this kind of floor where it's just cemented, no, it's not tiles, just cemented. And the room I was staying, it had when this cemented floor doesn't used to be strong. After a while it will start breaking. So that was how my room was. You will barely see a place that was even cemented. So most of the spaces in the room were bad. They were bad. But I would put my clothes there and snap it with my cousin's phone because I didn't even have a phone. I didn't even have a good phone that could snap. So I will snap it with my cousin's phone and then post. I did not have a machine. I didn't have a workspace, and my house was inside. The customers that used to look for me and come to my house, now I'm beginning to wonder what made them to even patronize me that time. But I didn't have anything. I didn't have a machine. I didn't have a space. I didn't have a phone. But I had a brand though. I had a brand. I had already given my brand a name. I had already given it a name. This is Elas Couture. I had already given it a name. So this this um this should tell you that you are permitted to start small. Start from where you are. Have a brand. You have a skill. You've discovered your skill. You've discovered that you can use this skill to solve a problem. Brand it. Brand it. After a while, I registered my business with CAC. I did not have a shop. I did not have anything. But brand it, package it. When you package it into something that can be paid for, that's when you see people actually coming to pay for it. So you identify your skill, figure out the problem you can solve with it, and then brand it, package it into something that people can pay for. And then don't be scared to start small. Don't be scared to start small. Another thing is you need to be consistent, even when results are not showing, even when it's quiet. Consistency is a secret ingredient that is not loud. It may look common, but if it is absent, you will not go far. You need to be consistent. There's a popular saying, people say that consistency breaks resistance. You need to be consistent. You have a skill. You know that this skill you can use it to solve a problem. You've branded it and you started small. Maybe customers are not really coming the way they should come and all of that. Be consistent. Keep doing what you're doing. Consistency may look common, but if it is absent, you will not go far in your business. You'll be like someone who just took off a plane only to crash after a while. So consistency. When I don't know if anybody has tried to cook without salt before. If you cook without salt, salt is an ingredient that many people look down on. You see, salt is always the last ingredient to finish. It looks as if salt is very quiet. But if you want to make your rice now, you want to make rice. You have rice, you have tomatoes, you have pepper, you have everything. Then there is salt. And salt, when salt gets into the food, it gives meaning to the food. Salt is what makes the food to taste well after it's been prepared. People outside may be looking at that plate of rice after you finish making it, and they will be seeing the beautiful plate of rice, the delicious and the yummy looking plate of rice, without knowing that salt was you needed salt for that rice to come out as a delicious plate of rice. So consistency is that ingredient that people do not see. People outside do not see. Only you knows your level of consistency. Is a secret ingredient. If you remove it, your food will be tasteless. Your business will crash after a while. You can't remove consistency from the equation. You can't remove it. You may be looking at capital as the most important you will not go far in your business. So it is consistency that breaks resistance. I've said that before. Real success is not in starting, it is in staying through. If after this meeting you are motivated to take the bold step to to turn your skill into a business, you need to also have the discipline and consistency to stay true. The real success is not in starting, it is in staying true. Then another one is you should be intentional about visibility. If you start a business, if you start a skill, be intentional about visibility. Don't play with visibility. Don't play with social media. Don't play. I can tell you that most of my customers have not met them before in business. Most of them have not met them before. I've had people that have made clothes for in Italy, in the UK, in many other countries. Most of these people have not seen them before. They got to know them through social media. So you know how when I was giving I've established how you can turn your skill, the skill you have, how you can turn it into business. I've said that you with that you have already started the business with your skill. But then there is another part of it. If you started the business, how can you sustain it? You keep the business running. This is what I'm now bringing in. I'm now bringing in now. About visibility. Folk dragging you what I ordered versus what I got. It's a dent to your branding. It's really a dent to your branding. So also be intentional about the quality of service you render, the quality of goods you sell, the quality of what you put out there for people to buy. Don't be that brand that delivers less quality. Don't be that brand like gold, because actually they are gold to your business. So no business, no company, no industry thrives without customers. If food companies that close down, ask them what happened. It's most of the time is because they started running low on customers. It is customers that fund your business. It is customers that keep you in business. So treat them like gold, because they are actually the gold to your business. So these are the way you can business. You will not even see it. If you're not intentional about visibility, that business is not going to go far. It's only people around your street that will know you. If you don't focus on quality, after a while your customers will leave you. If you don't have good customer service, if you don't treat your customers rightly, they will also leave you. Most of them will not stay. Most of them don't have the patience to stay with people that are not people that don't care about them. So treat your customers rightly. Customers don't stay just because they buy things from you. They stay because of the experience they get from you. So make them feel like family. Build a good relationship with your customers. I the many of my customers, some of them when they're about getting married, I give them gifts. You could give your customers gifts. When they give birth, you could give them gifts. At the end of the year, you could give your customers, you reward your customers. This is how you build relationship with your customers. This is how you give them an experience that they probably will not get elsewhere, even if they decide to leave your brand. So customers don't just stay because they are buying something from you. They stay because of the experience that they get from you. So, and I call this one customer relations and retention. Yes, there is one thing for you to have customers, and it's one thing for you to be able to keep your customer. And another thing is that you should be flexible. You should be flexible. Be ready to evolve. be ready to adapt to trend. Be ready to be adaptive. Be flexible. Don't stay in one thing and be telling yourself this is how to do. Don't. There is no traditional way of doing something, especially in the business space. There is no traditional way of doing something. Be ready to evolve. Have the mindset of growth. Be ready to evolve. Be ready to evolve. As technology keeps evolving, be ready to evolve. I know of many people in business whom 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 they are not really people customers are not really paying attention to them again because they are still doing things the traditional way of doing things. They feel there's a particular way of doing things, a traditional way of doing things. And for instance, I would give example with the fashion industry. Before now, when you hear of fashion and designing, the first thing that comes into your mind is you have a shop, you have apprentices, then after apprentices, you have a shop, and also you and you deliver. So as time went, so you see somebody and the person is doing so well in the fashion industry, and the person doesn't even have a working store, a physical working store, because the person decided to leverage on the advantage of social media. So as technology keeps evolving, as trends keep coming out, you should be ready and flexible. You should be ready and flexible. Be one step at a time, yourself at the top. So have a big goal, but then have a small step.
I was talking about how to keep your customer, because it's not just enough to start a business, you have to keep that business running. It's not just to start a business with your skill, you have to keep it running. And I made mention of a number of things. I made mention of consistency. I made mention of visibility. I made mention of focusing on quality. I now said you should treat your customers well. You should make them feel like family. I said that customers don't just stay because of the things they buy from you. They stay because of the experience they get from you. So make them feel like family. Build a good relationship with your customers. I made mention of even supporting them whenever they are doing, whenever they have, they are celebrating anything, or whenever they lose someone. These are little things that you do that keeps you in their mind. I said for me personally, whenever any of my customer is wedding, I gift them. At the end of the year, I gift my customers. So there are a few things I do that gives them a particular experience that they feel they cannot get elsewhere. So, and I said I call it customer retention and customer relations and retention. So I then moved to saying that when you start a business, you should be flexible, you should be ready to evolve, you should be ready to adapt to trends, you should be ready to you should just be flexible, because anything can change as technology keeps evolving. A lot of things keep changing. So for your business not to be left behind, for you not to be left behind in your business, you also evolve with trend, you also adapt to changes, adapt to changes. You should be flexible. I know of, I always use the fashion industry as an example, because I'm into fashion. So I know of many tailors that in their businesses that have been left behind. And it's not as if they don't know their craft, it's not as if they don't know what they are doing. It's just because they refuse to follow trends as technology keeps evolving. I know a lot of them that they are only known within their streets. They don't know them outside their street. Why? They don't take social media seriously. They don't take, as technology evolves, you own a business, you evolve as well. You should be flexible so that you will not be left behind. And I also talked about setting goals. As much as you have a big picture, you started your business, no matter how small you started, there's no limit to how big you can dream. There's no limit to how big your goal can be. So you are permitted to have a very big picture, to have a very big goal. But then I will now suggest you have small goals that will lead you towards achieving that big goal. You started a business, you have a big picture. Have small milestones that you set for yourself, so that as you gradually achieve those milestones, before you know it, you see yourself almost at that big picture, or eventually one day at that big picture which you first had in mind. So I said you can't just jump from um one step to from in a staircase. You can't jump from the first to the last, but with taking one step at a time, you find yourself at the top. So as much as you have a big picture, also have small goals that will lead you towards achieving your big goal. I said when I started my fashion business, I shared the story in the beginning of how it started. I didn't have a machine. Gradually, I got a machine. Gradually, I got another machine. Gradually, I got an industrial machine. Gradually, I got a space that was better than what I was using before. Gradually, I got a better phone. Gradually, little by little, little by little. And as you invest in these things, people are taking you more seriously. People won't take you seriously if you don't take your brand seriously. People will not take your brand seriously if you don't take it seriously. You are the one to show them how serious you are, and it will even help them to take whether they will take to know whether they will take you seriously or not. Because like I said before, there are a lot of people that are doing the same thing that you are doing. Then I moved to saying that you should pay attention to yourself. You should pay attention to yourself is a point that many people don't talk about, but I like talking about it. I always talk about it. Pay attention to yourself. You are the one who is running the brand. You should pay attention to yourself. You at Especially when you start a business newly, at that initial stage, you notice that you're the one running almost everything. You're the one sourcing for materials, producing, you're the one sending out, you're the one doing delivery, you're the one attending to customers, you're the one doing almost every single thing for your business. So you should pay attention to yourself, knowing that if anything should happen to you, your business will be on hold. So for someone who is starting a business, for someone who has succeeded in turning his or her skill into a business, and for someone who is running the business, you should pay attention to yourself. When it's time for rest, you rest. When you are feeling sick, you treat yourself before we find you in the hospital, and then you now take a long break before coming back to your business. So take care of yourself as someone who is running a business. Then another thing is, you don't do negative comparison with other brands. I know there are times when you look at big brands and tell yourself, oh, I wish to be like this, I wish to be like this, and you work towards being something similar. But don't do negative comparison. Things like, hey, is this thing I'm doing, is it working at all? Is it going to pay off at all? You now start feeling depressed. You now start feeling, no. Don't do negative comparison with other brands. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, I'm trying to run very fast because our time is fast spent and there's still time for questions, please. um Another thing is you need to manage your brand's money wisely. When you started a business, you manage the money wisely. Many people will tell you, um separate business money from personal money, but I like being very very realistic. Coming from somebody who has a brand, from somebody who has a skill, and somebody that um just started a business, or just started converting the skill into a business. The kind of money that you'll be seeing at the initial stage is not the kind of money that somebody who has been in the business for a long ha- is seeing. So when somebody says separate your business money from your personal money, from where I started, when I started using my skill as business, I did not have personal money. I did not have personal money. My business money was my personal money because there was no other place where I was getting money from. I did not have any other place. So it was all my personal money. If you see separate your business from personal money, how is it personal money? So there are stages in every business. There's a stage where business like is just 1,000 naira. It's very, very, so how will you now separate personal money from that kind of money? So how to manage your brand's money, no matter how little you are making in that money. How to get your personal money out of that business money is to share the profits. Don't eat everything. Don't eat everything. How to get your personal money now? The money that you will now separate from business money is by sharing the profit. Keep some for yourself and some for the business, no matter how small or little. The truth is that you may tell yourself that you're not making so much out of this business, you just started it. But the truth is that if you're not faithful in that small money that you're seeing, you can't be faithful in big money. Oh. You cannot. If you think you have problems that you want to use all that money in that business to solve, problems will never finish in this life. Problems will never finish. In fact, if there is one thing that can adapt to your to your current income per season, is problems. You see yourself earning 5,000 naira, you'll be having problems that 5,000 naira can solve. The day you start earning 100,000, you'll be having problems that 150,000 naira, you will be needing 150,000 to solve. So if you can't be faithful with that small 5,000, if you can't be faithful with it, you will not be faithful with 100k, with 200k, with 2 million, because problems can adapt to your income. Problems can adapt very, very well. That's why many people say big man, big wahala. When you have money, you will see problems that are equal to that money. So no matter how small, no matter how little, share your profit, keep some for yourself and keep some for the business. That is how you keep your business running. If you eat everything, your business is going to fold. Another thing, be patient with your brand. Be patient with your brand. Like a sewer. Please, I want to be sure if we are still here, if you're still hearing me, please.
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay. So be
Yes,
patient with your brand. Be patient with your brand. When you started a business, be patient. Be patient. Like a sower or a farmer, when he plants a seed, he doesn't go daily to dig out the seed to check whether that seed has started growing. If he does that, he will interfere. He will disrupt the growth process of that seed. But if he gives it time, after a while, weeks, months, years, that seed will grow into a tree that has branches, that bears fruits that can still be replanted. So give yourself time. Be patient. Impatience will shift your attention away from the things that you need to do to grow your business. Impatience will only lead you to comparison. Impatience will lead you to depression. Impatience will lead you to many negative things. So be patient with your brand. Be patient with your brand. Impatience will distract you. It will, in the end, you will see yourself not making progress at all. So be patient with your brand. Take, if you are here this evening and you have a skill and you've seen how to make turn this skill into a business, you later do it and you see it working out, but you notice that the growth process is very slow. It is normal. It is very normal. Like a farmer, like a sower, allow the seeds to grow. Allow it to grow. One day to grow into a tree that has branches. You know now be only in Enugu or only in one state. You have branches across many states, and your fruits will you have fruits that can be replanted. Okay, so be patient with your brand. Growth may be slow, but it is happening even if you don't see it. And the truth is that if you are not seeing it, it's because if you check very well, you see that you are growing. So even if you don't see it, the truth is that you don't see a seed when it starts taking its roots, when it's still in the ground. You don't see when it starts taking its roots. You don't see when it's gathering everything it needs to gather to spring forth. So even though you are not seeing it, it is happening. Growth is happening, though it may be slow. So be patient. All right, now the last thing I have to say is that, okay, now you have a business that is running. You've seen how to convert your skill into business. You've seen how to keep your business running. You've seen how to remain in business. Now have how to sustain that business even when you are not there, even when you are out, even when we've seen businesses that their owners are no more. They've gone to be with the Lord, but their businesses are still running. How to keep your business, how to sustain it, how to sustain it, not just running it, how to sustain it even when you are not there, even when you are not present. Maybe you went for a vacation or something. When you're not present, when you're not there, teach your skill to people, train other people, have a team. Have a team, yes, have a team. Teach people. No businessman, no global brand succeeds alone. Most of these multinational companies we see, it's not just the CEO, it's the CEO and his team and his workers. So train other people in that business, have a team, teach your skill to people, train your team members, train them, train your people, and then gradually increase your price. I would have said this was supposed to be the first thing before training others and teaching your skill. Increase your price. Yes, because you can't keep doing what you were doing before and be collecting the things the amount you were collecting before, and you're expecting your business to grow. Your business will not grow. You have to increase your price. You gradually increase your price. I remember the first gown I made, the first gown that announced my brand, I think in the year 2021 or 2020, I've forgotten the particular year, but the gown I made that announced my brand that time, I made that gown for 1,500 naira. 1,500, that 1,500 is not my gain. Is what I bought, that 1,500 was the money I used to buy the materials I used to make that gown and everything. And I made that gown for 1,500. In the end, my gain inside, I think it was around 700 or so. But that particular gown today, if I want to make that particular gown today, I will not make it with anything less than 20,000 naira. It's a very, very simple gown. Very, very simple gown. So what am I trying to say? As you grow, as you keep growing, you gradually increase your price. You gradually increase your price. By that time, when you now tell your customers that this gown that you made before is now so, maybe you made it 10,000 naira before. This is now 15,000 naira. They will say, why is it now 15,000? But they will not leave. They will pay because why? The experience they get with you and everything will not allow them to leave. They are like they are it's as if they are glued to your brand. I've seen many people tell me that Ella is like I'm glued to your brand. I don't know what you give to me that cannot leave your brand. So when you have all these things in place, you gradually increase your price. And I'm not just talking just in the fashion industry. I'm using it mostly for my examples because I'm in the fashion industry. In whatsoever sphere you are, in whatsoever industry you are, when you have a working system, when you have something that is running, you now start increasing your price. Increase your price. Customers will not leave, they will stay. Because why? You are giving them an experience that they are scared of losing. They are scared if they go to another place they may not get it. So gradually increase your price. This will help you to get more profit that you can reinvest in the business to keep it running. Then teach your skill, train other people so that even though you are not there, your business will not fold because you are not there. Even though you are not around, your business will not close down because you are not around. So um with this I believe we've learned how we've seen how to turn our skills into business, how to keep it, how to sustain the business, and how to keep it running even when we are not there. Thank you so much, Sir Crown, for this opportunity. Thank you everyone for staying through. I'm really sorry. My network, I don't know what happened to network today. My two networks, both Airtel and MTN, they've just been frustrating me. I'm sorry. But thank you so much for staying through. Thank you, sir, for this opportunity, sir. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you so much, Ella, for the wonderful session. I personally had a lot to learn. So please, if you have a question, just go on and raise up your hand. Then I'll call your name. You ask it. Then Miss Ella will answer you. Okay, Chidima, do you have a question?
Yes, sir, I have a question.
Go ahead and ask your question.
Good evening, Maela. Thank you so much for that very important question. I really learned a lot. Okay, my question is
Good
actually
evening.
into the should I say the fashion that you were using as an instance. But my
Okay.
own case was that okay, I was actually learning it, then I got admission to school. So I would not say that I'm done learning it. So I was learning it. I think I just learned for I think a month plus. Then I got admission. So the issue now
Okay.
is I'm not good in it. So that's why visibility is not, should I say, is not part of my plan for now. So because I can't be advertising what I'm not good at. I'm still learning. I haven't
Okay.
even learned anything for 3 months or so. So
Okay.
my question now is it advisable that you continue learning it and juggling it with your academics? Probably maybe you leave it when you're done with academics, then you go into it and know that okay, now I'm trying to maybe probably upgrade my skill, or do you juggle it with your academics? I don't know because it's really difficult for me. Even when I tried combining it to academics, most time lectures and the whole lots of things, it's been very hard for me.
Okay. Okay, good evening, Chidima. Thank you for that question. Okay. The thing is that you have to know what will work for you. I personally learnt the skill while I was going to school. So some days I'll have lectures. I'll now go to the woman's shop because I learnt with a roadside tailor. I'll now go to her place after school. And some days I wouldn't have I would some days I don't have lectures. I also go to her place. So I was actually combining it with my academics. It is very possible to combine it, though I'm not imposing it on you. You know how you're built up, you know if you can actually do it or you can't do it. So just know if it will work for you. If it will work for you, I'll advise you to do it, because it's in school that you even build most of your customer base. The customers that have stayed with me, my I don't know what I would have done if I didn't start this business while I was in school. The customers that have stayed with me referred my brand, and most of the customers that I get outside the country, in the end, I some of them, not all actually, about two of them, it was actually referral from one of my course mates. So in this, when you are in school, that's the best time to build whatever you want to build. Though. That's the best time to have contact. That's the best time to let people know what you are doing. So if you can, just if you can, I would advise you to combine it. When you're done with lectures, you can go to the place you are learning, or maybe during break, like when you're done with exams, you can consider it again. If you can do it, it will help you. By the time you make for one or two persons, you will see that a lot of people, your network will be spreading. When the period when you are in school is a period when you have the opportunity to build whatever you want to build for your brand. It is the people you meet in school that would I've seen people who try to build something after school. I've seen how they struggle. I didn't struggle like that though. I did not. I've seen how people struggle when they are done with school. So if you can, if it's something you can do, you go into it. But if it's something you feel will wear you out, then I don't know if I answered your question.
Yes, Ma, you answered my question. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Is there anybody with a question? If you have a question, just raise up your hand. And before anybody, I also have a question personally.
Okay, sir.
And my question is to prove, should I say prove a point or portray an idea.
Okay.
So you were learning this skill while you were in school.
Yes, sir.
You are done with school currently.
Yes.
And I believe you have different sources of income.
Yes.
So will you say the skill is more beneficial in terms of your source of income to what you study, or what you study is still rewarding more than the skill? Because that
Sorry.
question is a very, very important question. Some people believe that,
Okay.
okay, let me just find out my skill now. When I finish, I have enough time. And at the end of the day, they might meet something that is different. So I would like you to shed more light on that area.
Sorry, I didn't get the last thing you said.
Okay, I said some people believe that
Mm.
if they leave school, they will have enough time to do whatever they want to do, to learn whatever skill they want to learn. So is it going to be too late after school or at the end of the day,
Okay.
is a skill more beneficial than what somebody is studying?
Okay. I don't know if I got your question. You are asking if the skill will be more beneficial than what you studied in school.
Yes, looking at your
And
case
if
personally.
okay. And if the second one you said, and if I didn't get the second thing you said.
That is just the
And if it will be
question.
too late, and if it will be too late to start after you've gone to school, to start
Yeah,
learning a skill after you've gone to school.
yes.
Okay, let me start from the second one. The truth is that the time you don't have while you're in school, you may not still have it after school. As you keep going, as you keep journeying in life, there are a lot of things that will be dragging your attention. There is no better time to start than now. Anything you want to do, because you can't tell where you will be tomorrow. You can't tell the kind of cares that will be on you tomorrow. You can't tell the kind of distraction that will be on you tomorrow. When I was learning how to make clothes, it wasn't convenient. I must tell you, it wasn't convenient. It was not. Imagine combining school and learning. It wasn't convenient. But and I was telling myself, is it that I should take a break and go back after school? But I noticed that when I graduated, I did not still have that time that I was looking for. My PPA was dragging me, everything was dragging me. So I didn't still have that time to learn. So I would say there's no better time to learn than now. Whatever you want to learn, just learn it. Because after school, you may have so many distractions that will still keep you from, you know. And even after school, this the what you learned, nothing guarantees that you are going to get a job very fast. Some people have been looking for jobs for years. Some people have been looking for jobs for years. Yes, I got a job after school quite early, but I can tell you that I'm gaining more from my skill than what I learned in school. I'm earning more from it as well. So there's no better time to start than now. If you're waiting for that perfect time when you have time, you will not have that time. You're not going to have that time. That's what I feel from my experience, because I've used my brain now to calculate how I was feeling while I was combining what I was combining with school and my life after school. I saw that the same time I didn't have, the same space I didn't have, I did not still find it after school. So the best time to start whatever you want to start is now. And then the question you asked, if starting, if your skill, if it is better. Sorry, ask the first question again, sir.
I was asking
If your
personally, your skill now is now more rewarding than what you studied.
okay, the truth is that what you studied, even though it gets you a job in a company, I would say your skill will reward you than what you studied though in school. It will. From my own experience, it will. Because even though you get a high paying job, maybe you get a job they're paying you 500k, 600k, a time will come when you won't be able to do that job again. A time will come when you have to retire. And what then happens after you retire? What will you now have as a retirement plan? What will now happen? Some people don't even get the job at all. I'm just being positive on the side of when you graduate, you get a job, a good paying job, and everything. What if you lose your job? What if? So you have to consider all the what ifs and do something about your life. What if you now retire? What if you lose your job? What will now happen? What's your retirement plan? But with a skill, when you have a skill, you you turn it into a business. You're running the business. You as time goes on, you grow it into something that is big, into something that is mega. they may not even need your presence. You have people working for you. You now be an employer of labor instead of people employing you as labor. I don't know if you understand. If you understand. So what you studied in school, you just use the knowledge. You just apply whatever knowledge. Like for me that did business admin, just apply it in running my business, and it sets me. So I'm not saying working after school is not good though. It's actually good. But for me, I'm saying that my skill is paying than what I or than the job I'm doing from what I studied in school. My skill is paying. And if there's any option for me any day, and that's okay, Ella, you no long you can no longer combine this skill and your job, I'm going to drop that job without thinking twice, without blinking. I'm going to drop the job. I will drop it. So I don't know if I answered your question, sir. Sir, I don't know if I answered your question, sir. Jesus, you just say hear within I talk so.
Okay. Thank you so much for that
Sir?
response. So, is there
Okay.
anybody with a question? We are closing now.
I said I don't know if I answered your question, sir.
Yeah. You've answered the question. You've given me the point I was looking for.
Okay, sir.
And I believe a lot of people having the questions have gotten answers to their questions. So there
Okay.
is no better time to start than now.
Yes,
Thank you
sir.
so much for joining us. We don't take it for granted. So since we don't
Thank
have
you for
any other
having me, sir.
questions, we are ending now. So thanks so much and anticipate other sessions. If you are not in the group, you can send me a DM to add to the group. I'm going to be posting my WhatsApp number in the chat box. So just send me a message on WhatsApp. Thank you all. Good night.
All right, sir. Good night, sir.